In our last video, we covered the basics of making beats, adding tracks, using a MIDI controller, and recording. Now let's look at ways to take your recordings to the next level.
Digital audio workstations, like Soundtrap and GarageBand, provide a lot of easy-to-use tools to get you started. In Soundtrap, tap on the instrument icon in the track header to access the control panel. If you're working with GarageBand, tap on the instrument icon and then the faders button. Depending on the DAW you're using and track type, some different options may come up, but most, if not all, will have some common options including volume, pan, reverb, and other effects. Let's focus on volume first.
Not everything has to be at full volume all the time, and some things naturally will need to be louder than others. For example, usually we want to make sure that we can hear and understand any vocals, so consider starting with those as the loudest track. From there, prioritize the volume of the drums, then the bass, and then everything else. Sometimes, if you can't hear the vocal track, it's not a matter of turning up the vocal track, but turning the other tracks down so they don't hide the vocal.
Similar to volume, not everything needs to be in the same place left to right. Changing where an instrument sits left to right in the mix can help to better define the sound of your music. Move things around by using the panning knob. Again, if you like how something sounds, keep it. If not, change something. If you have two keyboard tracks, try panning one track hard right and the other hard left. The separation will help the keyboard stand out in the mix and can make the song sound more clean.
Reverb is a very popular effect. It can add ambiance or space to a sound, filling it out and making it seem bigger. It can allow you to play sound in a location too, like in a concert hall, on a stage, or in a church. Most track templates will have a preset amount of reverb in the track. This is a great place to start, but don't be afraid to use reverb as a special effect. But with that said, be careful with reverb. Too much can really wash out a sound, causing it to get lost in the mix. You see, this is what too much reverb sounds like. Once again, experiment.
When you add a new track to a song and choose a bass, or a keyboard, or a drum set, just like with your vocal tracks, the template will have some presets, including the Equalizer, or just EQ. The EQ helps you add in and take out highs and lows in the mix. Adding some lows to an 808 or kick drum can give your song more punch, while adding some highs to a vocal can help bring it forward in the mix. As with everything, experiment. Ask your friends how they think it sounds.
Now tap the purple Effects button. Depending on the track type, this might be the Add Effects box at the bottom of the screen. There are so many options for effects to shape the sound of your tracks, but here are some of the basics. Delays can create interesting rhythmic sounds, including everything from subtle echoes to slapback effects. Chorus, which can thicken a sound, like this. There's also more EQs, compression, vocoders, distortion, filters, and more. Many, many more. Guess what? You got it. Experiment.
Finally, here are some other things to keep in mind that can really impact your recordings. Good ideas matter. All the gear in the world cannot fix a bad song. Good performances matter too. Things like rhythmic accuracy and being in tune are so important. Nothing beats practicing your part to get it right. Lastly, and this is really important, if you are not enjoying making the recording, your listener likely won't enjoy it either. In the end, a textbook perfect recording doesn't really matter if there's no emotion behind it.
Our next video will explore some more advanced ideas for making beats and improving your song. And remember, be you, be real, let the gear in the mix support your story, not the other way around.